Hello, all my chickadees. Welcome back to my nest. Today we're going to be continuing our Let's Play of Diona's Flower Shop. We didn't get to see what he's hiding down below. I mean, we got taken down below, but we didn't get to see what was down there. So I'm hoping we do this time. I'm still rooting for an Andre too. Feed me some more. But anyway, grab a plushie, cuddle up, and let's dive on in and try to get some more endings of this. Okay, let's see. Is this the last option? I think that was the last option, right? Yeah. Okay, what happens if we say, "Are you trying to hurt me over this? You're insane." With a steady face and an unwavering tone, the florist brings the shimmering shears closer to my neck. I'm not insane. He fell silent for a brief moment, as if to recollect his thoughts. In fact, I think you're the one who's shameless, to the point of insanity. Shut up! Get away from me! I finally managed to yank his hand away and seize the opportunity to dash towards the door as quickly as possible. Yet, I was once again stopped by the florist's grip, preventing me from leaving. I'm afraid I cannot. The florist's shears got me. Okay, this looks like it's the same now. It's just a little bit of different text there. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's just start from the beginning here. And try not to waste this time, okay? Okay, let's check the staff door. I want to know what happens. I hesitated for a moment, pondering whether it might be a bit excessive. But in the end, curiosity got the better of me. After all, someone could be inside, right? I mean, who in their right mind would just leave their own shop unattended at this hour? It's kind of dangerous. After a brief internal debate, I made my way towards the back of the counter, intending to knock on the door. I noticed that odd, out-of-place scent from earlier seemed to be coming from behind the door. I apologize, but only staff members are allowed to enter. I was taken aback by the sudden presence of a man with pink hair emerging from the door. Oh, sorry. I took a step back immediately, feeling a little flustered. No, you're quite alright. The man's lips curled upward into a smile that appeared warm to me, and he took a step back, maintaining a professional distance. Okay, this time we're just gonna say it's my friend's birthday. Okay. We've seen this. Alright. Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right. It's disheartening to see beautiful flowers go to waste. Why does your flower shop even remain open this late anyway? He didn't reply right away, and I noticed a slight pause in his movements as my questions sank in. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to pry. I understand where you're coming from. It is rather unusual for a flower shop to remain open this late. Truthfully, if it wasn't for my beloved wife, I wouldn't be working this hard. While he remained focused on his work, a faint hint of a pink now graced his cheeks as he spoke about his wife. I see. You seem to be a hard worker. His wife must feel lucky. It's not every day you see someone working this hard. Thank you. She's my motivation for pursuing my love for flowers. He continued by picking up a handful of delicate baby's breath, a tiny white flowers that added an airy lightness to the bouquet. Did your wife influence your decision to become a florist? A soft chuckle accompanied his nod. Not entirely, but she's been a significant influence. Is your wife a flower? Is it like a, um, uh, like an Andre 2 from Little Shop of Horrors? My love for flowers had been a lifelong affair. Even as a child, I was captivated by their beauty and grace. But it was when I met my wife that my passion for flowers intensified greatly. His voice took on a noticeable change of tone as he spoke about his wife. Your wife must hold a special place in your heart. With each nod, his smile seemed to grow wider, and it's clear he is absolutely smitten with the topic of his wife. She is. I'm thankful to be in her presence every day. I'd nod softly, smiling at his words and remained quiet to let him focus on his work. Okay, now we just keep going into the back again. He came back with lilies, same as before. Alright, he's doing the... Ignore the smell, pretend it's not here, ask the florist about it. Let's ignore the smell. Despite my intrigue, I decided to push the unusual scent to the back of my mind. As much as the aroma tugged at my curiosity, something tells me that it's probably best if I don't question it. While he placed each petal with precision, I suddenly hear a loud crashing noise. Okay, that's happening again. Okay, let's try spacing out again because maybe we can leave this time. No, thank you. I'll pass on the offer. Once the flowers were perfectly arranged, he carefully wrapped the bouquet with decorative paper. I'll just have to add the finishing touch then. Do you want to purchase something else before leaving, or is this all? Yeah, that's all. I should get going. I tried going as fast as I could this time and not waste your time, bud. I nod, reaching out my hand to take the change. Thank you for choosing Diona's flower shop. We hope to see you again soon. Thanks as well. I picked up the bouquet from the counter, turning to walk towards the door. Ha! We made it out of the door. See, I made sure we didn't waste his time this time. Despite the unease, I managed to politely bid my farewell and turn to leave. As I distanced myself from the shop, the unsettling scent slowly faded, and the surroundings became more familiar and comforting. Gradually, my heart rate began to return to normal, and the feeling of relief washed over me, escaping whatever strange ambience that the flower shop held. Ending Lily of the Valley. Amidst shadows and fragrant blooms, a discerning heart chose. I'm sorry, I can't read this. If you guys can read it, awesome! Sometimes it's best to trust your instincts and not let your guard down. A simple choice to walk away can save you from a fate that's been left unexplored, right? Yeah, exactly. We escaped that time. Okay. So far, we died once and we got away once. So, let's try again. I hope we get to see his wife at some point. I want to know. Just look around and wait. We're gonna say it's for a confession this time. I want to confess my feelings to someone, so I thought flowers would be a perfect way to express it. Oh, how lovely! Flowers can convey emotions beautifully indeed. Is there a specific type of flower or color you have in mind for a special occasion? I was thinking of roses. They say roses are the language of love, right? Absolutely. Roses are a timeless symbol of love and affection. We have a wonderful selection of roses in various colors. Red roses are the classic choice for love, but others like pink, white, and yellow can also be beautiful options. If you like, I can also show you our flower language book. It's a way to choose flowers based on the meanings and symbolisms. No, thank you. I'm good with red roses. Yeah, we know what we want this time. We're confessing it's gotta be roses. Red roses just sound like the perfect flower for expressing my feelings. Of course, that's no problem at all. Whew, I keep yawning. I'll arrange a bouquet for you. You can follow me and add any additional touches you might want later if you like. Thank you. I trailed behind the florist, observing as he elegantly halted his steps and began crafting a floor arrangement on a nearby table. Okay. Feels a little awkward if I just stand here and watch him work. Maybe I should try to say something. The flowers here are beautiful. You take good care of them. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to create something beautiful with nature's great gifts. With the shears in hand, he snipped at the steam. Okay, we've seen this. Okay. You're right, it's just... We're gonna say, yeah, you're right. It's disheartening to see beautiful flowers go to waste. Yes, absolutely. Flowers possess this ability to bring joy and warmth to people's lives when tended to lovingly. Unfortunately, not many people seem to grasp that. There was something sincere about the way he spoke of flowers and handled them, palatable in his actions. You must really love working with flowers. My words brought a soft smile to the florist's face, and he nodded. Thank you for the kind words. I do find great joy in creating arrangements that expresses one's beauty and emotions. He continued by picking up a handful of delicate baby's breath, tiny white flowers. Was there... Okay, we've seen this. Okay, and he's gonna go hot, back and forth again. What is he doing going back and forth so much? Okay, we're gonna ask the florist about it this time. there a particular scent in here? It's quite unusual for a flower shop. He responded without even sparing me a glance. Ah, yes. Some customers notice it, he replied without sparing me a glance. A scent that many find to be calming. I see. I nodded as I speak, though the smell was far from calming to me. This is a different one. It's far from calming. What is it really? ... Yet I didn't want to come across as rude. I brushed off the discomfort and resumed perusing the flowers. Are you interested in adding enemies, perhaps? Timeless choice for various occasions. Red, pink, white. Each shade conveys distinct meanings. Still mulling it over. I see. Very well, then. His words faded into the background as the unsettling smell seemed to grow stronger. My unease deepened with each passing moment. The scent intensified whenever he opened the staff door. I think I need to get some fresh air. Can I step outside while you finish? Of course. Take your time. I'll continue working on the arrangement. And please, feel better soon. I nodded at his words and forced a grin on my face before swiftly turning around to leave the room. You know, we could just leave. Stepping outside, the fresh air did little to ease my unease. I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to this flower shop than met the eye. My instinct screamed at me to leave, but I couldn't abandon the mission. As I took a deep breath, I contemplated whether to confront my fears and learn what's going on, or just take this chance to leave. I really feel like something isn't right here. Yeah, something isn't right here. Leave and buy flowers somewhere else, if I could. Stay and wait for the bouquets no matter what. We're leaving. Yeah, it's unsettling. I can't really put into words exactly what's wrong, but something here genuinely doesn't feel right. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. After a moment of hesitation, I decided I've had enough. Oh, he's gonna be mad. I thought we were just gonna leave but not come back in. Oh no. He's already been working on it. We wasted so much time. He's gonna murder us. I re-entered the shop to see the florist's remains in the same spot, still completely absorbed in his work. Sorry, maybe another time. Oh? I don't think I'm gonna be back in here. Something's definitely not right. Your arrangement is beautiful, but I got a text from my friend that they knew some other place. Without taking the time to wait for the florist's response, I closed the door shut and dashed away. As I made my escape, the haunting scent gradually fades and the night becomes quieter. My heart... Okay. So, is this still... Yeah, Lily of the Valley. Okay. Okay, what happens if we stay and wait for the bouquet? Part of me wants to leave and forget about the whole thing, but another part of me can't help but be drawn back to this place. Now, what am I thinking? I think I could just be thinking too much into this whole thing. Right. I took a few more moments to calm myself, thinking properly before eventually stepping inside the shop again. Besides, he arranged some of the most beautiful bouquets I've ever seen, at a reasonable price. As long as he doesn't murder us. When I step back inside, he's unchanging. The florist is still as focused as ever on his flower arrangement. Feeling better. I think. Maybe. Despite my response clearly lacking in spirit, the florist doesn't seem to note on it, and instead continued to work so focusedly on the flower arrangement, almost like he's ignoring me in a way. When he placed each petal with precision, I suddenly hear a loud crashing coming from the other room. Oh. Okay, we're going back to the crashing. wife knocked over stuff. Okay, that blood? We're gonna point it out this time. My voice trembles with concern as I gesture towards a bloodstain. There's a strong urge in me that wants to know what's really happening. That's blood. What happened? He pauses for a moment, his eyes briefly darting to the spot I was pointing at. Huh. I think I didn't properly clean up after myself just now. He let out a quiet sigh, rubbing his temple with his other hand. I apologize. I had a nosebleed just now. Did you? A nosebleed? Yes, it happens every now and then, unfortunately. Sometimes I do wonder if it's from me working a bit too hard, for I'm the only one that works here. Oh, we get a bunch of stuff. Nice. Look at all these options. What about your wife? Why isn't she helping you? You really need to look after yourself, handsome. That's concerning. You should remember to rest. That's not from a nosebleed. You should remember to rest. The florist nodded at my words, his gaze unwavering as he continued to expertly arrange the flower bouquet. I appreciate your concern, but I'm used to it, really. I take responsibility for my health and my wife's well-being. Well, if you say so. His words trailed off silently. There's something in the way he answered that tells me he doesn't want me to pry any further. Okay. Thank you, I'll take a card. Okay. Would we be able to get away with that? About what, may I ask? About the handsome man behind the art arrangement, you. About your wife. Pardon? He looks genuinely surprised at my question, clearly from how his eyes slightly widened. I'm just curious about the person who inspired you to do such an artistry. His expression softened at my confirmation, and he nodded slowly. Oh, I see. I'm flattered you want to know more about us. Well, my wife, she's a feisty, wonderful woman. Despite the way she is born, her uniqueness shines through. Feisty? It is an Andre too, isn't it? She has a delicate nature, despite her strong and tall exterior. Which is why I don't let her work in the shop, nor help me directly. Because I know that she's helping me in her own way. That is as much as I can say about her. Something in his voice tells me that he's not gonna say anything more. I see. You seem to treasure her. The florist nodded slowly, smiling in satisfaction. Of course I do. She's my everything. The florist turned around and walked to the other side of the counter, tidying up some stuff. You seem to be showing quite the interest. Wouldn't you say? He stopped his movements and turned around to face me. A small smile on his face. Yes, I'm genuinely curious about your life, if you're okay sharing. Well, yes, about you and your wife. Okay. We're not dead yet. Okay, that's a good thing. I'll say we're curious. He continued arranging items, his fingers briefly touching an old photograph resting nearby. I'm flattered. Not many are willing to learn. Oh! The florist's slender fingers wiped the dust off the photograph that's placed on his counter. Me and my beloved's wife. His eyes held an affectionate look as he whispered softly, speaking of his wife. My wife. She's a fragile soul, born into circumstances that set her apart from the norm. What? I leaned in curiosity piked by my topic. We getting into the deeps now. Circumstances? What do you mean? Is she sick? She's born into circumstances that set her apart. His fingers brushed against a photograph, revealing the image of a sunflower garden, bathed in a warm, nostalgic light. Yet, she's still the living embodiment of beauty rising from adversary. I met her in a garden back when I was much younger. As his gaze lingered on the photographs, his fingers seemed to caress the petals captured within the frames, as if reaching across time. I see. It is a beautiful photo of a sunflower garden, almost like straight up from a fairy tale. Long before I met her, they were my solace. Tending after flowers become a comfort to me. Almost like fate. This passion of mine was what particularly led me into meeting the love of my life as well. They called me strange. Some even laughed at my affinity for flowers. But my wife, when I met her, it was like the flowers finally had a voice. She helped me find solace in who I am, and a purpose in my life. Who is your wife? Who is your wife? What is your wife? He placed the photograph back in its place, and for a moment, silence hung in the air, laden with unspoken sentiments. His gaze seemed to linger on the photo, lost in a world of memories. Sounds like she had a profound impact on your life. Indeed she did, in more ways than I can express. The florist's crimson eyes hold a mixture of fondness and introspection. And your family, were they supportive? Your wife, how has she influenced your life now? Did your family support your relationship with her? Haha, my family. Well, let's just say they had their reservations. Especially my father. He even tried to separate us at one point. He paused momentarily. He let out a quiet sigh. Being the only son, they had their own plans for my future. They didn't see what I saw in her. Moreover, they didn't even endorse my passion for tending to flowers. That extends to the people around me, who consider my hobby somewhat excessive. But I never wavered and stayed true to my heart. I'd always known what I wanted deep within. It was a feeling I never experienced before. I wanted to protect it. That's why we put in our all to be together, and now there's no one in our way. I can see that. Deep down, I find myself contemplating a thing or two. I'm curious. I feel like I want to know more, but at the same time, should I? He isn't saying anything. I just get you and tied things up. Does he not mind at all that I'm still standing here in his shop despite the arrangement now done? It's like he's not even acknowledging my presence at all. I cleared my throat, gathering my thoughts. Well, that's quite something. But I think I have to take my leave now. I wish you and your wife good fortune. I turned around and headed towards the door with the bouquet in hand, ready to depart. You see, it's rare to find someone who understands my artistry and my situation. His words caught me off guard, and I was taken aback by the depth of his statement. Your situation? He paused, as if considering whether to say more. My wife. Someone who's important in my life. The circumstances between me and her are unusual, as my late father liked to put it. Yeah, you're probably murdering people to feed her. I listened intensely, my curiosity peaked. It seemed like he was opening up to me. He felt like a breath of fresh air to us. If I may be honest, not everyone takes time to consider my circumstances. Tell us! Stop dancing around the bush. I see. Him suddenly speaking so much stopped me from leaving. The florist's words caught me off guard, and I wasn't sure how to respond. I'm sure you're aware that people are so quick to judge, especially nowadays. They like to stick their noses in people's business, even relationships. So it's rare to find someone who's genuinely willing to understand my situation. You. Sorry you had to deal with that? Don't be sorry. Humans tend to fear what they don't understand, and hate what they can't conquer, simply in their nature to do so. That's why meeting someone like you, who's open to listening, is quite refreshing. A brief silence enveloped us. A smile slowly resurfacing while his fingers gently traced the petals of the nearby sunflower. As a parting gift, I'd like to offer you something special. His voice was tinged with a genuine appreciation as he spoke. What? I want you to meet her. Yes, let's go. Let's go. We're gonna meet her. For a moment, I struggled to speak. Meeting his wife? This was unexpected. But why? His smile broadens at my questions. You've been so opening to listening. That's why I believe you deserve to meet someone special, like my wife. I feel like you'd be one of the people who would understand her nature. Not to mention, I'm sure my wife would like to get to know a beautiful soul like you. Though it was unusual, I ended up agreeing, my curiosity surpassing any doubts. Okay. The florist's smile broadens in my response. Thank you. Back to the basement. The florist led the way, opening the staff door for me to step in first. He guides me down a narrow flight of stairs, the air growing cooler as I descend into the earth. Soft footsteps echo in the dimly lit space. The path seems different now, a blend of shadows and flickering lights. We passed by the dimly lit staff room, casting elongated shadows across the walls. But the scent of fresh bloom seemed to come from another place. That's the staff room, isn't it? Yes, you're correct. I follow the florist a little further until we both reach a sturdy wooden door. He turns to face me, a small smile gracing his lips. Here we are. Okay, this is a greenhouse. He opens the door to reveal what looks like an underground greenhouse, illuminated by a soft red-hued light. The air was thick with floral scents, and a hint of unpleasant smell similar to the one I first smelt when I stepped into the shop. He stepped aside and allowed me to step in first before him. Wait here for a moment, won't you? Where is she? She's a plant, isn't she? I nod slowly. I saw a figure emerge from the shadows. My heart raced in anticipation. Diona, my dear. Please look this way for a moment. Diona's appearance was obscured, and I couldn't really make out any distinct shape for a moment. As the light illuminated the figure in a dim glow, I could finally perceive its features, if they could even be called that. What? What? Is that? Is that a mutant sunflower? Wait, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 eyes. Oh my god, what? Okay, I wasn't expecting that. okay? I couldn't believe what my eyes was seeing. The wife he'd been referring to all this time is this thing? The monstrous being emitted a guttural growl, its massive head swaying ominously on its gnarled stem shifted with a creaking sound. What? From its gaping maw, a long, insidious tongue emerged, dripping with a thick layer of glistening saliva. The sight was revolting, as if it was ready to strike at any moment. Ignoring my shocked reaction, the florist displayed an unusual fondness for his wife. Okay. Well, she seems to like him. Look at that. She's giving him a little licky lick. Oh, I know you're eager, my lovely. Come closer. Well, he's happy. I guess, if they're happy. Give me a kiss, will you? As in response to the florist's tender gestures, the monster reciprocated by licking his cheek with its tongue. Don't worry, my beloved. Our guest is here to stay. I watched in shock as the grotesque creature, referred to as my lovely by the florist, nuzzled against him. Before long, he slightly pulled away from the monster and met my gaze. Say hello to my dear. Hi? Hi, Diona? Yeah. The monstrous being faced me with an eerie, multicolored eyes. Hello. As expected, she's pleased to meet you. Are you sure? The monster emitted another low growl, akin to a purring noise, its form quivering slightly as if responding to the florist's words. This can't be real. Like, we're hallucinating. We fell off a chair somewhere. The florist tenderly stroked the rough surface of the creature's petals. With each caress, the monster's form seemed to writhe in anticipation. Should we leave and let you guys have a moment together? Yes, I must apologize for my absence earlier. You know I have to take care of our guests, especially those with curiosity. Huh? Is he talking about me? You see, my lovely here was getting quite impatient with your presence. She's been famished for weeks, and the sound of unfamiliar footsteps was driving her to a frenzy. We're gonna die. I find myself connecting the dots in my head. We are very slow. The florist's earlier repeated visit to the staff room, his unhurried demeanor, it all made sense now. The monster, his wife, had been starving. Now I understood the reason behind his earlier disappearance. But don't worry, I taught her well, and you're safe here with me. How could he say that? I don't feel safe at all. My heart raced with unease, realizing the florist's true nature and the monstrous being he's been referring to as his beloved wife. Would you like to shake her hand? She's always excited to meet new faces. If she's starving, why are we down here? We're gonna die. She's gonna eat us. The florist reached towards the creature's petal, almost resembling a hand, shifting it in my direction. This was not on my bingo card for what was gonna happen. Sure. I stumbled back, my heart pounding as I continued to grapple with the reality of the situation. Despite so, I fought back everything in me to run away, and instead stepped closer to the monstrous creature before me. I could feel the heat emanating from it. Hello, Diona. Nice to meet you. I reach my hand out to caress its large yellow petals. They definitely feel much rougher than the usual sunflower petals, much thicker and stiff. Unlike when the florist touched it, the monster doesn't seem to react to my touches as it did with him. While I caress its petals, the florist stands there, remaining close to the monster he calls his wife, watching my every move. Isn't she gorgeous? The florist's gaze narrows as he watches me closely. Yeah, sure, she's gorgeous. The Norse smiled, nodding slowly. If we say something bad about his wife in front of his wife, he's gonna lose it. I knew you'd think so. He stepped back and put my hand aside from the monster, as if not wanting me to touch it even more. His grip was firm as he moved my hand away. She's a type of carnivorous sunflower. The florist's gaze returned to the creature, his expression displaying a fondness for his wife. As I mentioned earlier, I encountered her in a garden when I was younger. Probably when I was around 10. We practically grew up side by side, facing all kinds of challenges together. Once again, his attention shifted towards me. Back then, Diona was just the size of a normal sunflower. At that point, her diet mostly consisted of small animals. Though it wasn't until she nibbled on my ring finger that I truly understood her appetite for flesh. Wait a minute. Is your finger bent, or is your finger really gone? I thought it was just like bent in an illustration, but no, he's really missing half of his finger. It's alright though. That moment marked the beginning of our bond, isn't it? Isn't that it? His words took a moment to sink in. My eyes immediately trailed to the florist's hands, and only then I realized one of his ring fingers is missing. There's a metaphorical saying, the couple should savor each other's favors before walking down the aisle. This couldn't be real. How could we be married to such a being? In our case, that saying takes on a rather literal meaning. But don't be alarmed. Diona had her fair share of snack this evening already, though I must tell you that she has quite the appetite. He delivered this assurance with a faint smile that only fueled my unease. What did she eat? Right, my sunshine. She tends to be a bit bashful whenever I mention her hearty appetite. Can I ask a few questions? How do you feed her? What kind of snack did she have? I raised an eyebrow, curiosity lacing my words. He momentarily turned to look at me, his expression unreadable. Just a little feline. No! You fed her a cat? No! I don't want to know any more about that. He fed her a cat. No. The florist and the monster continued with their unsettling display of affection, completely ignoring my presence. Could you repeat that for me, my beloved? But I'm not lying, my sweet. It's merely part of the plan. What? It's just how things go. It's always has been. A displeased growl left the monster's mouth, its discontent evident in the deep rumble that emanated from its throat. My wife. Please understand. Be a little more patient for me today, okay? I'll spoil you well tonight. I miss spending time with you. Perfect. Me too. My wife said she'd like to eat you. No. No. We came to meet her, not let her eat us. His gaze swiftly shifted to me, his demeanor now devoid of any emotion. A complete 180 from how he interacted with the monster mere moments ago. I apologize. Let me rephrase that. His words hit me like a shockwave. She'd like to get to know you through her taste buds. Yep, this is where I should leave. I dashed to the door as quickly as possible. But then he was suddenly behind me, his tone soft yet sinister. My wife has been starving for a while now, and you're the perfect target. Fear gripped me, realization crashing over me in waves. It's quite rude to leave when you, a guest, is being introduced, don't you think? You're gonna eat us! I think we can leave! I should have known better than to go out of my way to step in a totally not suspicious flower shop that's apparently still open past 11 at night. Let me leave. I tried yanking his wrist once more, attempting to break free and dashing upstairs, but a sharp pain suddenly struck my side, causing me to lose balance. I'm afraid I cannot allow that. The florist's scissors pierced me. My wife would hate knowing that someone like you entered our shop and didn't get to be a part of her feast. In agony, I curled up in a ball on the ground. The florist approached, stabbing my neck for the third time. I screamed in pain, blood mixing with my coughs. Throughout it all, the florist stared, emotionless eyes fixed on me, holding my wrist before dragging me. Let go of me! I'm in no position to decide that. Please do ask my wife. He held me firmly, dragging me closer to where his wife awaited. Hey, sweetie, can we go home? Huh? He told us to ask. The proximity to the repulsive creature made my stomach churn. I could almost feel the heat radiating from his body. Do you think you'd enjoy tonight's meal, my sunshine? If not, I'll simply dispose of this slab. The monster unhinged its jaw, its tongue slithering out to lick my face. I recoiled in disgust, its hot saliva staining my cheek. My sunshine, I warned you repeatedly not to do that. It's unbearable to see, as if you were kissing them. What the hell did he just say? I glanced at him with a flurry of emotions within me, sensing my arms and legs being bound tightly. Now I must prepare you for her meal. The monster growled again, seemingly reacting to the florist's words, lowering its head before glaring at us. Oh, I was just a little jealous, but I'm not upset with you, my dear. The florist rose and walked ahead of me, caressing the monster's stem as it leaned into his touch. In the midst of me struggling, I could smell something unpleasant coming from somewhere near. The unpleasant scent from earlier. It smelled so foul I could feel it assaulting my senses. It's probably a body pile, right? Don't worry, my sunshine. I'll chop them up for you. Yeah, you know, we'd hate for her to choke on us. Yeah. Huh? After a moment, both the florist and monster ceased their affectionate gestures to turn their attention to me. He suddenly yanked me and dragged me to another room, awashed in blue dim light. The unpleasant smell intensified as we inched closer to our destination. I realized this room was one of the rooms the staff door led to. Let me go! Keep your mouth shut, and I'll make it easier for you. He turned around and left to retrieve some items from the tall cabinet. This is a slaughter room, isn't it? The florist retrieved his huge gardening shears. Suddenly, the foul smell intensified. Yep, this is a slaughter room. As he turned on one of the lights, I realized the odor emanated from behind the door. He creaked open slightly, revealing a horrifying sight. A pile of human bodies. Some were covered in dirt, while others were soaked in blood. Why haven't you been feeding her them? Huh? You say she's so hungry, you should be feeding her the bodies you already have. Instinctively, I attempted to flee, only to be reminded of my restrained limbs. Damn. The fresher the meat, the better the taste. He's ready to lunge at me. Oh my gosh. This game is way longer than I thought it was gonna be. Try to kick him. In a desperate attempt, I tried to summon all my strength and could muster and aimed a swift kick at his florist. But he moved faster than I expected, effortlessly sidestepping my kick with a calm expression on his face. Impressive effort, but I'd advise against resisting. It's unfortunate that it's come to this. His words were spoken with an unsettling calmness. Before I could react, he swiftly grabbed my tired legs and wrist. The impact against the floor left me disoriented and in pain. He stood over me, his shears glinting menacingly in the dim light. I wish you would have cooperated willingly. He dragged me once again to right in front of the monster's face. Now this will be quick. No. My wife. The monster responded with a growl, turning its head towards the florist. Each time he talks to that creature, his voice takes on a softer, more gentler tone. I hate to ask, but could you assist me, my dear? It's not cooperating very well. The monster let out another growl, even louder this time. It craned its neck downward, and then it extended its tongue in my direction. Oh, are you eager to devour it immediately? We're it now, are we? I understand. However, I'm just concerned you might choke again like this last time. So I couldn't let you devour it right away, but you're allowed to help. You're very lovely, my sunshine. Now be still, will you? No! The monster turned to look at me and leaned closer to my face. Instinctively, I flinched and tried to avoid it. What is it trying to do? I told you earlier. It bit our head off. That's what it did. That was a disturbing noise. The pain is unbearable as I feel the monster chewing on me. Oh, delicious, isn't it? You should be quite enjoying it, my beloved. We're still alive and being chewed on like a dog toy. I'm relieved to see. Thank you for your contribution. The florist's cold, distant voice was the last thing I heard when I drew my last breath. Ending. Diona sunflower. Like sunflowers to the sun, the curious heart. Okay, I can't read it. Did you dare to pluck the flower of truth at the cost of your own petals? Apparently. Oh, that's awesome. The loading screen changed. Ah. Okay. Wow. Goodness. That's cool. That's cool. I like that. That's really cool. But So we've gotten 3 endings. I think there's like 5 endings? Okay. This part has gone on way too long. I'm gonna leave this here, and we're gonna try to get the other 2 endings in the next one. Wow. That was not what I was expecting. We're plant food. We're plant food. Okay, let me know what you think down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.